Look what I got at Walmart. Hi everyone, it's a Saturday. I had not planned on filming today, but hubby is on a little trip and I got a lot done. I finished trimming our fruit trees. I had one plum tree that needed to be finished up and did a little bit outside. I've come and paid some bills and cleaned up some paperwork that were action items pending. And I had bought some new items for my pantry from Walmart. This is the Pioneer Woman. There is a onion, a potato, and a garlic one. So I'm gonna cut the wrapping off of these and wash them, get them dried, and put them into the pantry. And then I'm gonna piddle. That's the way I'll describe it. I'm going to piddle. I have a little space in my laundry room that is a little cluttered and needs to be organized, and some of that might have a snowball effect into this pantry. We'll have to see. And I'm gonna check out another cabinet and maybe do some measuring. And I think we will go wherever the wind takes us. And it's been windy lately. But basically, I'm winging it. I'm gonna go where I feel like I need to go to take care of the little bitty things that clutter flat tops, counter space, and drive me a little bit crazy. So I've already taken care of my paperwork, like I said, but I hope you're having a great Saturday. Oh, I forgot. I wanted to tell you, look at this cute, and it's got pockets. Little apron. My friend, who also has a YouTube channel, and hers is called My Little Realities, she shared a link for one of these, and they have different patterns, but I had to get one, and I have to say, I love it. I love it. I have the old-fashioned aprons, but this was very well made. I like the material. It has adjustable straps on the back. Yeah, it's a good day. Come along with me. This is where I currently have onions, and you can see one of them is growing back there. And the sweet potatoes. So these are Tupperware actually, and they're all right. They're not as pretty as those other ones. So I'm hoping I can fit them in here. I did have in this corner right here boxes of trash bags, so I might need to find another home for those or make some room for those. But this is where those are going to go. I'm going to wash them up and we'll get them in place. They have the little breathing holes at the bottom of each of them. And I thought they were so gorgeous that I needed them. I had something for the garlic, but it was so small and it hardly held any of them. So let me show you what I have and where these are going to go. So before I wash them, I just wanted to put them in here for a dry run. And they're not the most efficient use of space. So you can see there's going to be a lot of wasted space here, here, and behind here. But sometimes you have to sacrifice for beauty. I mean, I could do that and I regain a little bit of space. So it just, you can't see it as well. And they need to be seen because they're pretty. They make my heart happy. While I take this off, I just want to share, my husband just retired. He is retired law enforcement, and he was working 2 hours away and stayed there in our camper 4 nights a week, and then came home for 3-night weekends. I was so used to having my 4 days or 4 nights alone, and it was so nice being independent. And it was nice welcoming him back home, enjoying him, and then having alone time again. It was like the best of all worlds. He's home all the time now. He's taken a rare little weekend trip with and for a friend. And today's my day. I have a free day. I love him dearly. I've missed my alone time. Do I have anyone who can relate with me? Please tell me yes. I think distance is healthy because when you reunite, it's just that much sweeter, right? That's our story and we're sticking to it. Let's get these cut off and washed. I'm trying to think if there's any other story to share. There's a potluck tomorrow that I need to go to. And my very expensive stove and oven is not working. The stovetop is, but the oven is not. And I've watched YouTube's. Apparently it is a design flaw in this oven. And the gentleman who fixed it had a terrible time fixing it. He basically found that it's a gas stove. The wires on the back towards the bottom have the little insulator around the wires burn off, and there's no protection or not enough protection for them. And to replace them, the wires feed all the way up the back and to the top. So you have to completely disassemble the top, and he had a mess on his hands. And to hear somebody that's comfortable doing those kind of things saying they will never do that again or buy this brand again, I don't mind trying to fix things by watching YouTube. I've done it plenty of times. That one was a little bit more than I'm willing to do. And if you've never had a propane gas stove before, the last thing you want is it being turned on and it not igniting and you smell the propane or the gas. And that's what's happening. It's being fickle. Sometimes it'll start and sometimes it won't. And so I don't feel comfortable using it. So I can't even bake a cake or a cobbler or anything. It's cutting into my creativity because baking is creative for me. Other people in the world have much more problems than that. So I still count my blessings. Oh my goodness, these are so cute. They're ceramic. I know they are hand wash only. And they're just precious. So I'm looking forward to using them. Let me get these washed up. I'll bring you back around. I want to share with you something I don't like about these lids. I just washed this first one. It doesn't have a rubber grommet around here. So if it gets hit, it will probably chip and we'll see how long these last. And then if you can see, there is a big lip around there that is gonna be a little bit of a challenge to dry, and somebody with big hands is not gonna be able to get in there and really get it dry. I haven't seen that before. It's quite interesting. So anyway, I just wanted to call it out because if it's something you might be interested in, that's a little, see, and I just went around it. I can still see droplets in there. I think washing these and making sure they're really dry. I may need to use a paper towel to just make sure there's no moisture. There's still some in there. There you go. I do have a dishwasher, but when it's only a few dishes, I don't mind doing them by hand. I do have the stopper in here, so the water just keeps building up. And what do they call it? Wago, wash as, or Wago, wash as you go. I think firemen do that, or firemen in firehouses do that. That's where I heard it from. We'll let those dry, and then we'll get those set up in the pantry. But I think I need to go take a look at what we're gonna do next. This is where my washer and dryer are, and I have a mess over here. These are pickles that are going to a neighbor. This is some dill that I need to strip that's already dried. That's kombucha back there, and it needs some attention. I need to do a fresh batch. I can do a video on that. And then I need to either move these jars or use them in the pantry. So this is what I'm not happy with right now. And then I also have herbs there that are dried that I really should probably go ahead and strip off and put into jars. We are going to try something. I haven't done this before, but the dill and a colander. I've heard that if you can feed it through the herb stems, through the holes, that it will strip off the leaves. So let's try it. I haven't tried it before. And these are falling off, so I've got different ones too. I may want to do them differently, but oh my goodness, what a mess. What I don't know is what direction. And there it goes. Okay. Let me bring you in closer. I don't know. Oh, oh my goodness. It did. It did. Not perfect. There's still quite a bit of stem on this. And the stem that went through still has some on there. There's gotta be another way. Let's see. I'm excited. That was fun. Can't feed it through any other way. I was thinking if you came through it the opposite way, or maybe next time. Let me see. Let's tear that off. I'm gonna bring you up here again. You see it came off? It's all stuck in the hole, but there's still some on here. I'm gonna see if I can thread it the opposite way, and it'll be going against. Let's see if that'll work. It's just breaking the stem. That's not working. It may work better on some spices than other spices. Like that might work beautifully on rosemary. These stems are very brittle, like they are breaking really easily. But it's fun, and how fun would it be to get kids to do that? My great nieces and nephews, I could see them doing that. So I'm gonna work on this while those jars are drying, and the dill smells so good. I'm gonna show you how fast it is by hand versus doing it through there because this is so dry. So I think that might be a fun exercise for the kids, or like I said, if it's specific herbs, then that might make more sense. But this is coming off super easy. So I think for my purposes, I won't use the colander. It was a fun experiment though. Oh, that dill smells so good. I'm ready to put these in, but I'm thinking we don't get into these all of the time. So I think I'm gonna move his voluminous amount of crackers and chips down to this end and then put these where those were. I think that makes more sense, and we'll see how it goes. You know, one other thing is there's a woman who talks about making your food last, and her YouTube channel is The Cross Legacy, and she says not to put your potatoes near your onions. I may end up separating these and have the garlic and the potatoes next to each other, and then have the onions, I think 3 to 6 feet away is what she recommends. If you haven't checked out her channel, I recommend it. She has a wealth of knowledge. She's had a TED Talk. She just had a book come out. We get into onions more, so I'm gonna put onions all the way against here, and then the potatoes and the garlic where the crackers are. So this is gonna go in this corner because we access those. I'll need to post a question to the Cross Legacy to see if the garlic can go next to the onions or the potatoes, because I'm not 100% sure. Right now, I'm gonna put them near the onions because we will use garlic the most as well. And I don't think I'm gonna get rid of those other 2 containers because I could potentially put white potatoes or other smaller root vegetables in those on the floor away from the others. So I'm not quite ready to declutter them yet because I think they could still be useful. Okay, let me move these crackers and nuts and everything down. I know if I do this, then you're not gonna get to see that pretty potato container very much. It has to be utilitarian, and my husband would appreciate what we're doing versus the visual that I'm gonna be giving myself. It's okay. I'm telling that to myself. This one's heavy. Can you see? It's right there. It's still cute. I can handle that. I'm still happy with it. I like it. So we'll see how they perform, how the vegetables or root vegetables stay inside them, and make sure they're dark enough, have that airflow, but I'm excited to see how they work. To work on the kombucha, I just boiled some water, and I am going to add, it is H-E-B Organics Tropical Green Green Tea. It has a really lovely flavor. I'm just gonna take 10 of these and put them in here and let them steep for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then I will add a cup of sugar because that's what feeds the good bacteria, and let it come down to room temperature before I can do anything else. This is the start. Well, here they are. I moved his crackers and chips over, and potatoes. I put another box of crackers behind it to bring that forward, and I think it looks cute. I love them. The only other thing I did today was up here, I went ahead and put beans and quinoa that was in bags and put them into the glass jars that I had in my laundry room. We've steeped for 10 minutes, so I'm going to take this lid off and fish this tea bags out. I'm sorry if you can hear my dryer in the background. I am multitasking. Oh, shoot. You know what? We're just gonna go ahead and get some tea in here too, and I will squeeze them out here in a minute. The other thing I do is count them, because sometimes I leave a tea bag in there. So I want 10 in and 10 out. This tea smells so lovely too. Don't fall, don't fall. Okay, I'm just gonna squeeze them, make sure. Make sure that all the liquid gold comes out of there. I have 1/4 of a cup, and we are going to put a cup of sugar in here. Ooh, let's make it a little more stable. This burner's hot, that's why I'm not putting it on there. And I'm not leveling it, so I may actually do a little bit more than 4, because it's not full all the way. We now are going to let this come to room temperature. I'm just gonna cover it lightly. I will do a separate video on kombucha, but what I did was my existing kombucha, which has really kind of been in a hotel, is the way they describe it. For a kombucha hotel, see the description for a link to the site. I decanted it into these two, added some pear juice into them and some ginger. So these will stay out on the counter, actually in my laundry room, for about 3 days, and I'll burp them. It'll build up carbonation, and then I'll put them into the refrigerator for us to drink. This one will sit covered with a cloth and a rubber band around that, where it can still breathe, and I'll make sure that this SCOBY floats up. Sometimes it starts off there, but the next morning it's up higher. And if it's not, it means it needs a little bit more sugar. And that one, 12 to 14 days, and then we can start the process again of decanting. I do have another SCOBY that's been in a hotel, and it has a huge SCOBY. So I'm making another batch of tea that will go in there, and I'm planning on giving some of that SCOBY away to some neighbors so they can do it themselves. And this is where my kombucha tends to process in my laundry room. So once that other gallon jar is done, I will put it here and cover it. And then, like I said, these two right there. There is a book called The Big Book of Kombucha that's very useful, but I have friends that created a repeatable process, and theirs actually is quite perfect, I think, and that's what I've done ever since. And for a while, if I don't want to make it, then it ends up in a hotel until I can pick it up again. Good morning. It's the next day for me. I'm gonna make a fruit salad for the potluck that we have today. So a lot of minimalists say you shouldn't have like a one-purpose tool. And I understand that. This is a Pampered Chef mango cutter. I have used it before, but if the mango is too big, then it doesn't fit. So basically it will go over the seed that's in the middle. And the reason I got it is I just knew that I would cut myself because mangoes are so slippery. So let's see if I can do this. Oh, I'm not going to cut it all the way through just so you can see. But see how that worked? So this one is worth it to me so I don't cut myself. And that's the other thing is I have a hard time getting it to cut all the way through the skin. Let me just push it back down through there. All right, so I still have the skin on, and what I just do is score it, and then it allows you to bend it, and then you can kind of slice through. So I'll put the scraps in this bowl because we throw them out to the animals. I just score it. I don't cut all the way through the skin. And then see how it allows you to open it up. And there you go. There's very little left on there. My sister-in-law also taught me that food always tastes better if it looks pretty. So I'm going to leave little strips that I will use to decorate the top of the fruit salad so it looks more appealing. So let me try it again now that you're closer. This one's big. So I go slow just to get it started. And I'm just trying to get it to cut all the way through. And they make a sharpener that I think I probably need to sharpen. And I'm just very careful. So don't do what I do. If you have a better way, please share. I just know that just doing it with a knife when it's super juicy does not go over very well for me. This one is juicier. I love mango. I'm done with that one-use tool. I'm gonna keep chopping this and I'll come back. This is our final product. And I'm just gonna finish it off with a few maraschino cherries for a pop of color. And I did add some lime juice onto this so the pears and apples won't turn. And actually, let me just sprinkle a little redness, a little bit of juice around. And I have a cover that's a washable cover, and I'm hoping it's gonna fit. Now, my mother-in-law also uses from the dollar store shower caps. So they're the clear plastic, but I'm gonna take this. I know I'll get it back. But I've got to run because I'm running late. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. I've got to run. I've got to load up all my donations because I'm gonna drop them off today and then load myself up. So I'm recycling these grocery bags. These containers are gonna be donation, and then this is the bag of clothes that I just decluttered on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I'm gonna drop them off at the donation on my way into town. The last thing on my to-do list was going to be to take this shelf and drop it down one peg and see if my mixer might fit in here. My pressure cooker is in the back now. It was down below here, and the crock pot fits there. So with this mixer, it didn't fit on the top shelf. After I lowered the shelf, it still didn't fit. So it is in here now, and it freed up some space in my kitchen pantry because I had the mixer on the floor in there. So that makes me happy. A little bit more usage of space. So this weekend the time changed. My dad is the one that used to always call me and remind me. And this is the first year he hasn't been around to do that. I miss that. But it's another memory that just reminds me how loving and caring and detail-oriented he was. Thanks for watching. As my dad always closed his voicemail messages, bye for now.